Alright gang, going into a new computer art tutorial here, and what we're getting into today is creating our pollution project. So getting started on the pollution project, we're going to go to Pixlr.com, create new, we'll go to photo, select landscape 10 by 8, and we'll call this project pollution project. And click create. Alright, so first thing we need to do is find an image that we would like to use as something we're going to replace with pollution. And so for my example, I was going to use an image of a sea turtle. And so let's find one here that has a good sense of the shape of the turtle from one angle. So from here I can really tell that it is a sea turtle. So that'd be a better image choice than one maybe here where it might be hard to tell what the animal is from just the outline. So let's take this image here. I'm going to right click it, go down to copy image, come back into Pixlr and Command V to paste. I'm just going to stretch this image so it fills my whole workspace. If I have any extra space on the edges, which it looks like I do, I'll go ahead and crop that with the crop tool and just bring that slightly down and this side slightly up, and then I'll click apply. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is to layer some images over the top of the sea turtle. So I'm going to use this image of a plastic bag. I'm going to copy this image as well, jump back to Pixlr, Command V to paste. I'll want to get rid of the background space here. So you can use you can use your cutout tool, you can use a lasso. I'll try the wand select tool first. See how well that does. It selected a lot of weird colors in here, so I'm going to go Command D. And what I'll try next is maybe turning up my tolerance here and seeing if I click again. Looks like it did a good job, better, but it still went into the bag a little bit, so maybe that tolerance is too high. Bring it down somewhere in the 70s here. Oops. I wanted to click Command D to deselect, but looked like it took that out. So having a tricky time getting the right tolerance level here. Maybe I'll pull it up just a little bit more. That seems pretty good. I'll hit delete. There are some little bits left behind, but nothing too much that actually will affect this image. So now what I'm going to do is just copy and paste or duplicate this until it fills and covers the entire sea turtle. So I'm just going to keep duplicating and then moving this object and continue to kind of move them, rotate them, and kind of collage them over the top of my subject. And it's okay that the image has gone outside the edges of the turtle. We're going to kind of trim that to fill in the space. And we'll do that at the end. So getting pretty close here. A couple more duplications. And I think I'll have everything covered. Might make this one just a little bit bigger, and maybe I'll rotate it upside down just so it kind of fills and covers this entire turtle up. And I can go over and maybe adjust if it'll let me click. Yeah, I'll adjust this one and make that a little bit bigger. Just trying to get these to cover all of the turtle up. Alright, a couple more duplications just to cover the fins. Again, if these really do not fit exactly, we are going to go over, trimming this so that it will fill just the outline of whatever you've chosen to fill. I'll take this one and rotate it and really stretch it out big so that it covers that entire fin. Maybe I'll duplicate this one again, bring it over here, and rotate it. Okay, so now that I have all those layers, a whole bunch of duplicated layers, what I can do is merge them in order to kind of combine them all. So we can flatten the image, we can merge visible, we can just keep merging down. So I'm just going to click on these three dots and keep merging these layers down. Merging, 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 until we get all of them into one layer. So it just takes a second. I probably have about a dozen or so of these plastic bags. You could do this with different plastic images as well. It doesn't have to be the same plastic image over and over. What I'm going to do now is click on the visibility to make this layer invisible. Now I just need to select the outline of my turtle here. And so I'm going to use the wand select tool again and try and click here, but the tolerance again is going a little wacky. Let's see if I reduce my tolerance down lower, how it works. So it's just staying inside the turtle. So what I'm going to have to resort to is my lasso tools. So I can use my polygonal lasso, or I can use my regular free lasso. I could also try the magnetic lasso is a good option here, because magnetic will stick to the outline here, and because there's so much contrast with these colors, if I click once and then try to stay along the edge here, and I'm just trying to keep this outline of the turtle inside of the circle that's by my cursor. And so Pixlr, this tool, will pick up the area where the difference is between those two colors. Because the turtle contrasts the color of the water so much, it's doing a pretty good job of staying along that edge. I'm going to try and stay right along here. Going all the way around the shell. Along the fin here. I'm at the home stretch. And I just clicked once. I don't know if I mentioned that. Just clicked once, and I'm just moving the mouse around right now. No other clicking until we get all the way back to our starting point. And then I'll click again. And now I have my outline selected. So I'll bring back this bag layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the opposite. So I want to select the inverse. I want to invert my selection. So now I've got all this outside the edges selected, and I'll just hit delete. And as you can see, that clears out everything that's outside the edge of what my turtle was. So if I hit Command D, you can see I've pretty much got this looking the way I wanted it to. I could blend these two layers together a little bit more with a blend mode. So I'll check out going to blend modes from the three dots here and just try and click through a few of these. Different blend modes will work differently depending on the colors of the images that you have. And let's see if any of these are working out. The other thing I could just do is lower the opacity of the image. That actually looks kind of cool. That actually works pretty well too, because you could see little bits of the shell through it. A hard light might be the way to go for my picture here. The difference turned out pretty interesting. That almost looks like an X-ray, which is kind of a neat effect too. So really just depends on your images and the colors in the images, which of these you might choose. I liked the hard light filter. I could also mess with the opacity and just turn the transparency down. But I think that hard light filter is going to work pretty well. The other thing that might be good to add is a little bit of a drop shadow. And so if we go to filter and down to drop shadow, we can add like a little shadow coming off. I'm going to blur this shadow, but you can see the little shadow that comes off of what is my bags layer. You can change the offset so that kind of pushes it over to the side a little bit. And I think that a little bit of drop shadow is nice. It kind of like helps this appear like it's really part of the image there. And so here's my finished pollution project. So we'll want to save as JPEG, turn it in, and we're good to go. Make sure it gets into your Google Drive, and then turn in on Classroom. All right, guys, hope you had a good time with this lesson. Have fun and be creative with your own creations.